Ever wondered why the first U.S. government under the Articles of Confederation had no president? After gaining independence in 1776, the new nation faced the immense task of creating a government that balanced liberty and order. Let's explore how America's early government forms, including the Articles of Confederation, developed and changed after the Revolutionary War. First, we'll see how new state constitutions place power in the legislative branch, reflecting a fear of centralized authority. We'll examine the Articles of Confederation, which united the states under a weak central government but revealed significant problems. We'll learn how the Northwest Ordinance and the Land Ordinance of 1785 shaped westward expansion. Along the way, we'll meet key figures like Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and Alexander Hamilton, and consider how these changes affected people. After declaring independence, the former colonies needed new governments. Many states wrote constitutions that placed power in the hands of the legislative branch. For instance, Virginia's 1776 Constitution, influenced by Thomas Jefferson, gave most authority to the legislature and limited the governor's role, reflecting a fear of centralized power from British rule. Similarly, Pennsylvania's 1776 Constitution established a single House legislature with members elected annually, making the government highly responsive, but sometimes unstable. Massachusetts, guided by John Adams, drafted its 1780 Constitution to protect natural rights like life, liberty, and property, and to advance representative self-government. This document included a strong Declaration of Rights, outlining individual freedoms such as speech, religion, and the press. However, these constitutions often maintained property qualifications for voting and citizenship. Only landowners or those with certain wealth could vote or hold office, excluding many non-landowners, women, enslaved people, and Native Americans. An exception was New Jersey's 1776 Constitution, which used "they" for voters and did not specify race. This allowed women and African Americans who owned property to vote until 1807, when laws changed to restrict voting to white male taxpayers. In 1781, the Articles of Confederation were ratified, creating a national government with limited powers. There was no federal executive branch to enforce laws, and no national judiciary to settle disputes between states. The government couldn't levy taxes, relying on voluntary state contributions, leading to financial shortages and inflation. It couldn't regulate trade, causing problems with international trade and interstate commerce. States imposed tariffs on each other's goods. For example, New York taxed goods from New Jersey, causing economic conflicts. The absence of a national court system meant disputes between states went unresolved or were settled inconsistently. Amending the Articles of Confederation was difficult because it required unanimous approval from all 13 states. This made it nearly impossible to correct problems. For instance, attempts to grant Congress the power to levy taxes failed due to a single state's dissent. Economic challenges were widespread. Post-war debt burdened the government, but without the power to tax, it couldn't raise revenue to pay soldiers or creditors, causing discontent. States issued their own paper money, leading to inflation and devalued currency. Interstate commerce suffered as states imposed tariffs on each other's goods, leading to trade disputes. Conflicts between states further exposed weaknesses. Boundary disputes, such as between Maryland and Virginia over navigation rights on the Potomac River, were difficult to resolve without a national judiciary. Some states negotiated their own trade agreements with foreign nations, undermining national interests. In foreign relations, the government struggled to assert itself. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 officially ended the Revolutionary War, but issues remained. Britain kept forts on American soil in the Northwest, violating the treaty's terms. The weak national government lacked the power to enforce the treaty or compel British withdrawal. Spain controlled access to the Mississippi River, vital for Western farmers' trade, and limited American use, affecting the economy. Both Britain and Spain supported Native American resistance to American expansion, supplying them with weapons. Internal unrest highlighted the government's weaknesses. Shays Rebellion in 1786 to 1787, led by Daniel Shays in Massachusetts, saw farmers protesting high taxes, debt, and foreclosures. The national government lacked the means to assist in quelling the rebellion, revealing its inability to maintain order. This event prompted immediate concern among leaders. Meanwhile, the Land Ordinance of 1785 established a method for surveying and selling Western lands, dividing the territory into townships and sections. It provided for the sale of land to settlers and reserved Section 16 of each township for the support of public education. This ordinance laid the groundwork for orderly settlement, but did not address the rights of Native Americans, leading to future conflicts. The Northwest Ordinance of 1787 built on this by setting up a process for territories like Ohio and Indiana to become states equal to the original ones. It promoted public education, protected private property rights, and banned slavery in the Northwest Territory, setting a precedent for future territories. However, it impacted Native Americans negatively, as their lands were taken without consent, leading to conflicts like the Northwest Indian War. Enlightenment ideas influenced the founders. Thinkers like John Locke argued for natural rights and government by consent, shaping the principles in the constitutions. Montesquieu's ideas about the separation of powers influenced the emphasis on legislative authority and the fear of concentrated power. The fear of tyranny shaped government structures. Having experienced British rule, many Americans were reluctant to create a strong central government. They preferred strong state governments and a weak national government under the Articles of Confederation. This reluctance to give up power made it difficult to address national issues. Leaders like Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and Benjamin Franklin recognized these problems. The Annapolis Convention in 1786, attended by delegates from 5 states, met to discuss trade issues, but realized broader changes were needed. They called for a convention to revise the Articles of Confederation. The Articles of Confederation, intended to unite the states, highlighted the need for stronger national government. The lack of a president and a robust central government under the Articles revealed the challenges of managing a new nation. These early struggles under the Articles of Confederation showed how complex it is to balance state and national powers.